Hello, SNA Assassinators. This is Super Ninja Austin back here with another video. And what a lovely Sunday evening it is tonight. And what a perfect way to start the evening by talking about the most remarkable NXT No Mercy review, just like Bash in Berlin. Maybe not just as electrifying as the premium live event the night before, but it was still something forward to and watch. Like if you're an NXT fan, of course, along with you being a main roster WWE fan. But yeah, this show did not disappoint. And it was like how I would predict it, except for like a couple of details. Like I'll say at least in the tag team division and in the women's North American Championship and the men's North American Championship. Well, I did got the prediction right on the women's North American Championship, but not the outcome like afterwards. That was in the post match. But anyways, it was a really good show. Like half of things was not exactly what I expected. I'll say the matches I predicted, I got four out of the six right, like on my opinion, but we're going to get into that right now. We're going to start off with the tag team championship match with Team Chase U taking on Nathan Frazier and Axiom. And they were men of their word. And I was wrong about this match right here. Like they did not came up short. They did the job. They got the job done, but y'all will not know my bad. Like what happened like after the match though, which I'm going to talk about right very shortly. But it's where we got the match starting. This is where we got everybody involved like hitting each other with their own moves. First it was Nathan Frazier and Axiom. Now we're trying to get the better out of Team Chase U, but yeah, every time they try to hit their maneuvers onto the small guy, they managed to get themselves out of it. But this is where we got with Rich Holland first. Rich Holland then eventually got the hot tag, started hitting his comeback moves, but nothing wasn't working. This is where Axiom and Nathan Frazier was getting the better of them, hitting suicide dives until Team Chase U got the ball and they got the offense position. We got Andre Chase hits this most amazing Spanish fly right off in the the lower right side, and follow that up with his double underhook suplex. Power bomb that he normally do. This is where we got and what else happens? This is where he tried to go for a pin, but he kicks out at the last second. Keep doing this like moment after moment after moment. Like they're just keep kicking out like repeatedly onto. And that's where we got Nathan Frazier. Then it is where we got Nathan Frazier then going right up. But this is where we got that's where we got Axiom then got the offense. He tags in Nathan Frazier. This is where Andre Chase tried to fight back, but he ends up getting intercepted by Frazier. Went to get right back on the top rope on the bottom right side, which is the same side as Axiom and Nathan Frazier. This is where we got. This is where Nathan Frazier go up right up top after he get pushed right off the top rope. This is where he goes for a super. No, what's that? A suplex turned into a what's that? That's where they did their double team signature moves, like hitting the suplex and like rolled it up into like a brain buster, which Nathan learned that from the former world heavyweight champion Seth Rollins. This is where we got Nathan Frazier, the super kick. This is where they're trying to go for a pin, but he kicks out at the last second of 2.999. They cannot believe they just kicked out. But this is where we got. This is where we got, what's his name, Andre Chase, then move out of the way once they try to go for their maneuver, like with Nathan Frazier sweeping Andre's legs while Axiom goes for that back-legged flying super kick. But luckily, we got him moving out of the way. He accidentally hits Nathan Frazier. We thought they were about to split after that maneuver. This is where Rich Holland is that big, brutal clothesline. This is where we got Rich Holland and picks up Axiom. This is where they hit this powerbomb backstabber combo on onto the masked luchador. This is where we got them trying to go for a pin, but this is where Axiom kicks out at 2.99999999999 double triple minus 0 point away from being 3. And I was like, wow, like I had not expected this to happen, especially if they're going to be hitting moves like this. I thought this was going to be a title retain right here. But like I said at the beginning, like I was totally wrong, and I did not totally expect. This is where fans started chanting, "This is awesome." I totally agree. I was like, yeah, this. I would give this the #1 spot if the women's and the men's NXT championship matches don't follow through, but they did so, which I'm getting into right now. This is where we got. This is where we got Ridge Holland and Andre Chase try to go for a double suplex onto Axiom, but luckily Axiom had his friend Nathan Frazier. He had a suplex. I'm not suplex. A top rope drop kick. This is where we got Nathan Frazier then going for a suicide dive around the Ridge Holland out of the ring. This is where we got Andre Chase trying to go for a suplex, but this is where we got Axiom going for the inside cradle. This is where we got Andre Chase then going for a spinning neck breaker, like if he was his own version of CM Punk. This is where he goes up right in the top rope. This is where we got Axiom to try to go for a Spanish fly. Axiom finally got it on him, getting some revenge on him, like after doing some insult to injury earlier. This is where we got Nathan Frazier then going for what's that Spanish fly, like if he's his former wrestling teacher. This is where he did it easily. This is where he goes for a pin. They get the 1, 2, 3 after that, and I was very stunned. I thought we were going to see them kick out, but no, they just immediately just got the 3 count, and yeah, your winners and new NXT Tag Team Champions, Nathan Frazier and Axiom. And yeah, let me tell you, this is the only title retained. Be a little spoiler here that. Not title. This was the only title change. The word that kind of rhymes, but not really. But yeah, this was the only title change of the night, like on NXT tonight. And let me know in the comments below what was your thoughts on this tag team match. Genuinely, let me know about that in the comments below. But I think they had plenty of reasons. One of them have something to do with Chase U and in their future, and then the other reason because they probably wanted to have the best way to drop the titles is someone like a very excellent team like Axiom and Nathan Frazier. Like they get the titles back, and they need somebody that has a resume of a multi-time tag team champion, because it's been a while. Somebody in the WWE roster have held the NXT titles more than one occasion. And also, that's probably the other reason. And I believe they'll probably face the certain legendary tag team brother from that used to wrestle in WWE. But this time they'll finally have a final run with the company, but this time in NXT to win the tag team titles here. And this will be the final tag team titles before they hang up their boots for good. But that'll be a different story for a different day. But this is where the shocking thing that happened, which we got Team Chase U start getting in the ring. This is where they were devastated with what just happened. This is where like the Riley Osborne and Duke Hudson was like, "I'm sorry that y'all didn't got a chance to retain, and I'm sorry y'all lose those titles so soon for only just a couple weeks on your reign." This is where Rich Hall was like, "No, like, I'm sorry what I'm about to do." And they was like, "What?" And this is where they walked out of there. This is where Rich Hall was like, "This," and he attacked him. And this is where he sent him right to the outside. He threw he hit a big devastating clothesline on the Andre Chase. Then he followed that up by throwing Duke Hudson and Riley Osborne right to Barry's tombstone. This is where then he then threw what's his name Andre Chase right into the announce table. This is where Thea Hale started begging and pleading to stop. This is where he still like, "What are you gonna do about a little girl?" And this is where she's like nothing, and she started crying and her eyes out, and she was like, "Please, like, why is this happening?" I was like, "Yeah," and that was my questionable response after seeing this live. I was like, why, Ridge? Why? Like, no, like I would expected them to eventually split, but not tonight. Like I would expected that to happen like maybe next month on a Halloween Havoc, but no, it was tonight on No Mercy. This is where he hits that DDT driver that looked like what Soraya or Paige used to do. This is where like he hit it so hard that he made the table explode. This is where we got This next up we got what's his name? Wesley and Zachary Wentz was started off next. This is where they gone at it like playing wrestling tennis, like and not waste no time at all because they want to rip each other's heads and probably throats out of their body. This is where we got Zachary Wentz sent what's his name, Wesley, right on the outside. This is where he hit a yeah, that's where he sent him to the outside, and this where he the pretty cool springboard. What's that? Cannonball right onto his former teammate, and this is where we got Zachary Winston sent Wesley back into the ring after hitting that maneuver. This is where we got. This is where he tried to go for a pin, but this is where Wesley kicks out at the last after hitting a swanton. That was pretty amazing. This is where Zachary Wentz was like, "How did he kick out of that?" This is where he grabbed onto Wesley. This is where he tried to. This is where Wesley tried to elbow strike, but it's super kick him right to the back. This is where he tried to go for a half Nelson, but this is where we got Wesley to go for counter, try to go for a wheelbarrow roll, but he did it like in a back way version. This is where we got this is where we got Zachary Wentz. Then what's that? Push him out of the way, went to the bottom corner ropes. He tried to go for a meteor, but this is where we got Zachary Winston. Turn it to a Boston Crab. This is where he's like, no, like, oh no, you don't, like, not. He's like, not this time. This is where Wesley's like, no, let go. I'm begging you. This is where he's like, well, you should have been doing that when you had the chance. This is where we got Wesley eventually got the grab onto the ropes, but this is where then we got Zachary Winston was at the bottom right side corner trying to take a breather. This is where we got Wesley trying to run and charge at him, but he instantly gets super kicked right to the face of Zach. This is where then we got Winston going for over a spot, but this is where Wesley then flip him right over to the top corner. This is where he goes up right in the top row. This is where we got Zachary Winston trying to go up for a mid-rope maneuver, but it gets instant-giri kicked by Wesley. This is where Wesley following that up into a flying head scissors. This is where we got Wesley then going for a springboard into a moonsault. I believe it was like a reverse 450. This is where he tried to go for a pin, but this is where Zachary then got the shoulder up at the last second, like of 2 I'll say 8. This is where we got Wesley to hit the cardiac kid by running through the bottom corner ropes into like a 450 flip. This is where we try to go for a pin. This is where we got Zachary Winston and kick out of it at 2.999999999. Don't do that. Might as well blow away. Being 3. This is where we got what's his name? Vic Joseph then cut the best line that he could have possibly ever done in NXT commentary in his WWE career for the last 5 years. And somebody better give him a raise or a bonus or whatever they want to get, whatever promotion that they want to give the guy. Like if they agree with me on this, like somebody better give him anything, even a medal, like a gold medal of the night award, like for describing that cardiac kid, like he got hit so bad, like he thought that he'll probably think he's still Carter. I believe that's what he said, like which he was referencing, like when the last time when Zachary Wentz was in NXT, he was known as Nash Carter. Of course, when they were MSK, and they were the NXT Tag Team Champions. This is where we got Wesley. Then we start talking trash on him. He's like you. Like, I'm sending you back to TNA where you belong. Like, I don't need you anymore. This is where fans start chanting, you suck to Wesley. This is where Wesley started kicking him and taunting him. This is where Zachary Wentz was like, get away from me. This is where Wesley was like, oh, really? You think you're going to overpower me? Like, I don't think so. You're the one that's on the ground. So how are you going to get back up from that? This is where he started hitting some right hands to the face until he tried to go for a right-legged roundhouse kick right in the basement. But this is where Wesley ducks out of the way. This is where he pushed him right to the right side. This is where he didn't try to go for. He dodged out of what's his name, Wesley's way. This is where he by dodging a pump kick that he was trying to hit right from the right side, but this is where he outsmarted, went to the exact same right side, hit a blockbuster neck breaker maneuver. But this is where or Blockbuster DDT, whatever it was called. Let me know in the comments section right down below. Exactly, Zachary Wentz just hit. Like for those that are aware about this, but this is where we got Wes Lee then hit the Meteora. Like if he was a male, I'm not sure if I should say the name, but yeah, you probably got the point. Like if y'all know exactly what I mean. But this is where we got Wesley that fell right into the outside right after he hit the Meteor right into the face of his former teammate. This is where Wesley. This is where then was. That's where both Wesley and Zachary Wentz was throwing fists on one another. But until we got Wesley, then got the offense in and had the advantage again. That's where it was about to hit the double knees right into the face with the eyes, trying to do exactly what he did to him this from a few weeks ago, if not a month. Like when he stabbed him right in the back when they lost to Nathan Frazier and Axiom, and before this match, I was thinking about like, what is up with teams like splitting up? Like one teammate turns heel on the other one just because they lost the match to this particular tag team. But this time it was different with it was the title change rather than a title retain because like Nathan Frazier and Axiom won the titles right back. But the last time that happened, they were already the tag team champions in the first round. But this is where we got to try to go for the Meteor, but I believe he made a huge mistake, even though he knew exactly what he was doing. But he waited a bit longer. He tried to go for double knees to the face, head first, right into the steel step. But this is where we got Zachary Wentz move out of the way. He hits double knees right into his face. This is where we got Zachary Winston try to get back in the ring. This is where we got that's where Wesley then sunset flip him right to the table. I think you trip him right over. This is where he landed right onto the table. But that it exploded because I believe like they couldn't manage to put the table back together so fast before the match started, like in the time wise. So that's probably the reason why it what's that called? It collapsed so easily, like because of the last match, they had to put a new table up, but they probably didn't have a chance to put it up in a sturdy position because they were probably in a hurry. Haste makes waste, but this is where we got Wesley then hit the double foot stomp onto Zachary Wentz, did a shrug emojis. They're like, it don't matter, that it's collapsed. Like the point is, I'm gonna beat Zachary Wentz. This is where he driven Zach's arm right into the ring post. This is where we got Wesley to look at the timekeepers area. And this is where he told somebody to get off a chair, which get out of the timekeepers area where the bell was. This is where Wesley then grabbed onto the X Division Championship. And I'm sorry that I did not mention this. Like, yeah, Wesley came out with the X Division Championship. I was like, man, I just love this version of WWE even more. Like, because if this was like even a decade ago, that WWE would have not showed this on television. This is where. This is where we got Wesley's like you want this belt? Like, yeah, like that's too bad. Like you're yeah, you mean got you yeah, you got this belt, but that's the only belt you're gonna accomplish since winning the tag team championships with me. And I'm the reason why you did win those tag titles in the first place. It's where Wesley did grab on stage. He was like, but this is where the referee's like, no, don't do this. Like you're gonna get disqualified. But this seemed like that Wesley didn't even care about it. He's like, what difference does it make? Because if I do this, he's not going to come back here. He's like, so long, good old buddy. And this is where he gave a huge maniacal grin. Luckily, Trey Miguel was right behind him, like out of surprise. He's like, how dare you do that? Like it's one thing that you stabbed us right in the back, but this is cold. This is cold-hearted murder that you're doing right here. That's what he said to Wesley. This is where Wesley's he told him to shut up. He was like, you better stay out of this. But luckily, Zachary Winston came right back in here. It was like, and this is a cold-hearted murder scene, I guess you could say. Yeah, that's what he said. This is where Wesley's like, shut up. Stay out of this. Like, it's already bad enough you were in it, in the first place when y'all came over here to NXT. This is where then he tried to run up Zachary Wentz. Luckily, he got back up. He got right up on the apron. He hits this most crazy Canadian destroyer, this most insane, I should say, not just crazy, but the most, most insane and the most unrealistic Canadian destroyer that anybody could ever do in professional wrestling. This is where Vic Joseph was like, "Oh my god, like did he really just do?" This is where we got Zachary Winston brought him in the ring. This is where he did his finishing springboard. What's that sliding cutter right onto his former teammate. And then this is where he goes for the pin. He gets the 1, 2, 3, and it's exactly like how I predicted, especially with Trey Miguel getting involved. That's where they embraced, they celebrated in the ring, and with the Denver crowd celebrating with him, like yay! Like we saw, like yay! Like we got a TNA wrestler. I got one over the NXT wrestler at a NXT Premium Live event. And yeah, maybe it should be like that a little bit more often, if not for a championship being on the line. But this is where Zachary Winston was holding on to his championship from TNA, the X Division Championship. I was like, yeah, like I just love this WWE now. Like all thanks to Endeavor. Imagine if it didn't get sold by Endeavor, like we would not be seeing this partnership right now. Like even if they're no longer competition, like we would not see the old WWE would want to work with anybody. And yeah, but yeah, and this won't be the last time we will see Zachary Wentz nor Trey Miguel, because they've been announced in a triple threat tag team match, like along with Gallus and Hank and Tank, like for the NXT Tag Team Championships, like this coming Wednesday. That was a Tuesday. That's Dino, and whoever wins gets faced the new champion, Axiom and Nathan Frazier, and a week from this Tuesday, of course. But yeah, let me know in the comments below who you think is gonna win. But yeah, huge, ginormous congratulations to Zachary Wentz. This is where he holds on to that X Division Championship. Like, even though he didn't defend that title, it was a non-title match. And I heard that, he recently won that in the Ultimate X match, which Riley Osborne was also involved into the match. But let me know in the comments below if he's going to be let me know in the comment section right down below, what's your it is where we got a hype video of the influence. What's that? The JC Jane, Fallon Henley, and Jasmine Nix is the the fatal influence. Yeah, that's what they're called. But yeah, this is where we got next up was this is where we got Trick Williams and Joe Hendry was up. That's where the Trick Williams was like, you got a big chance of winning the NXT championship. Like, let's talk about it. Like, I'm so happy for you. He's like, look, like I believe in you. I believe in Joe Hendry. In fact, I know that you can prove it by not even needing me to do a biased maneuver, in order for you to win the match. Because I know that you can do it on your own, fair and square, or blah blah blah. And that's where they cut it right before he can even continue. This is where we got Wendy Chu taking on Kalani Jordan next. This match was fantastic. This was fantastic as well. Was maybe not in the top 3 list, but it still was really good to watch. Very entertaining. And this is where we got Kalani Jordan was going for the split-legged moonsault, after she took down Wendy Chu. This is where she moved out of the way. She was smart for doing that. This is where Kalani Jordan tried to pick up what's her name, Wendy Chu, but this is where Wendy Chu caught her in the trap. This is where she goes for a sleeper hold, but luckily she didn't flip right over by running right to the top middle, the upper right corner turnbuckle, like she was her own version of Kairi Sane, in her match against Shayna Baszler for the NXT Women's Championship. Is where the Kalani Jordan only got a 2.3 count. This is where she did she flipped out of the back suplex. She hit the middle drop kick. This is where we got Kalani then hit the swift kick right into the head, into the right side. This is where we got what's her name? Kalani Jordan go for a cartwheel into a backflip. This is where he tried to go for a pin. But it's where we got what's her name? Wendy Chu only got the shoulder, only got a 2 count at a shoulder up at 2.3. Anyway, Kalani went right up the top, bro. Anyway, This is where then she tried to go for a crossbody. This is where we got both women to start fighting each other, like going one another. This is where they start going full arm back. This is where we got Wendy Chu to start growling right onto the face of what's it, Kalani. This is where that was one way to back down, and that definitely did creep her out. That's where we got Wendy Chu then going for a middle drop kick right into the head of Kalani, dropping her right onto the floor into the left side. This is where Booker T saying how he really loved this more than in-ring brawls or backstage brawls at NXT on the weekly show in general. This is where then we got. That's where we got Wendy Chu then hit some right hands to the face of Kalani Jordan. That's where she she hit her face first right into the apron, which is the hardest part of the ring. This is where she hits another right hand to the face of Kalani, right to the upper right side. This is where she hits a super kick boot right into the head. This is where she landed right into the bottom turnbuckle. This is where we got Wendy Chu going for a pin. This is where we got Kalani Jordan go for a kick. I mean, this is where Kalani Jordan went for a kick out after she get pinned by Wendy. This is where Wendy Chu to try to catapult her right into the upper right corner barricade. This is where she was like, no, like let me go, like stop. And this is where she did not do do that. She did the complete opposite, and she hits Kalani face first right into the turnbuckle. This is where she hits a small flatliner. Then she went for a sinister smile. This is where she hits a running double shove to the throat right into Kalani's throat, to be the exact. This is where she picks up the reigning defending NXT Women's North American Champion. Irish whipped her right to the upper right side. This is where she goes for a cartwheel, hits a splash right onto Kalani. This is where then we got what's her name? Wendy Chu, the Irish whip to the bottom right side from the upper left side diagonally. This is where she tried to go for a running attack move, but this is where she gets elbow right into the face by Kalani, send her right to the bottom rope. She hits a cartwheel sunset flip, but once she tried to go for a pin, she only got a 2-point, I'll say, forward. This is where she tried to go for a kick right in the gut. But this is where we got Wendy Chu grab onto her leg. She has a back flip right into the face. This is where we got. That's where we got. She goes for that sleepy elbow, standing sleeping elbow, like where to put her hands right onto the bottom part of her head, like around her chin. This is where she was like, "Oh, come on!" When she only got a 2.8 count from the referee. This is where she tried to go for like a body slam right onto to Kalani, but this is where she decided to do a tree of put her in the tree of woe position right to the bottom corner, turnbuckle corner. This is where we got. This is where we got. Wendy Chu then going for I'll say like a what's that a splash right onto Kalani. This is where then Kalani kicks her right into the head. This is where she flips right up. This is where then she hits face first right onto the turnbuckle. This is where we got Kalani Jordan flips right down. This is where we got Jordan to try to go for a clothesline, but this is where we got Wendy Chu. I was thinking the same idea. Both women did a double clothesline with one another, like if they're their own version of Adam and Maxwell. This is where then we got their own version, like their own female version. Let me rephrase that. This is where both women were down to the ground for like about 5 seconds until Kalani Jordan then go for a car. Try to go then hits after hitting a couple of strikes right into the face of what's her name onto Wendy Chu. This is where she runs upward, she runs back, upward, and then she went back to the ground. This is where she tried to go for a cartwheel, like I'll say clothesline or something like that. This is where but she ends up like my move she goes for a cartwheel and an elbow strike right into the face onto the Wendy Chu. That's where Kalani Jones like finally like I'm back to my feet. Like this is the moment I've been waiting for. This is where she ducks out of the way from Wendy Chu. This is where she hits the back elbow and the Pele kick right into the face of Wendy Chu. This is where then she flips right over. This is where she picks up Wendy. This is where then she This is where she put her right up on her shoulders into a fire woman's carry position. But this is where we got Wendy Chu to counter, try eyes from the right side to the left. This is where we got Kalani Jordan to go for a tornado DDT. This is where she picks her right back up. This is where she goes for a leg drop version of a DDT afterwards. This is where she goes for a pin on the Wendy. But this is where Wendy immediately got the shoulder up at 2.7. I was like, oh my God, like, even though it's not 2.9, but how did she kick out of that? Even though that's Kalani's signature, but that move looked like a move that you could hardly kick out of. This is where she tried to go for a drop kick, like a snapmare clothesline, but this is where Wendy Chu still got back up from it. She was like, there's nothing that's going to bring me down. Like if she was possessed by Satan himself. This is where, luckily, we got Kalani Jordan to go for a crossbody. This is where we got Kalani Jordan went right back up. This is where Wendy Chu's wrong answer. This is where Kalani didn't hit a super kick right to the face, and it seemed like that Booker T was a fan of possession because he started clapping and applauding and started cheering on. Like, oh my God, like I love this. This is where Vic Joseph was like okay, why you're so too enthusiastic, Book? And then this is where we got Kalani Jordan to go right up in the upper right side before Booker T can even respond. She hits this 5-star frog splash, just like her idol, to the man that used to be known as Mr. Monday Nights. But as soon as he tried to go for a pin, this is where we got Wendy Chu. Got her shoulders up right on the mat at the last second of 2.999999999. Helps with my mind 0.1 away from being 3. I was like, wow, if I didn't know better, I would have thought this would probably been it. Like, even though it's not really her finisher, but this is where we got Kalani Jordan, then springboard right off the top rope onto the apron on the left side. But this is where she tried to go for a springboard moonsault right off the ropes in the left corner ringside area. But this is where she gets tripped right over, hits back first right onto that exact same apron. She gets end up superplex right afterwards. This is where we got Wendy Chu then picks up Kalani. This is where then that's where she throws her right back in the ring. This is where she was about to put her away. But this is where we got Kalani counter out of a sleeper that she was trying to go for. This is where she started throwing fists right into her face. But before she can even hit her with 10 beats to the head, this is where we got Wendy Chu then picks her right up into like a sunset flip power bomb kind of position, more likely just a sunset power bomb, like picking her out off the turnbuckle. Power bombs her right back first in the process. This is where we got what's her name? Wendy Chu hits her double Nelson slam. This is where she tried to go for a pin, but Kalani then was like, two can play at this game. Got the shoulder up at Wendy Chu's count. This pinfall, I should say. Here's where the Sleepy Psycho one to go for Avalanche suplex because she was like, she's not a the pillow Nightingale to Night and Terror. Like, even though I wish that she was a pillow so I could sleep on her, which that sounds very uncomfortable. But this is where we got Kalani Jordan then said, oh, like I may not be the pillow, but I am myself. And I'm going to start being like her by not getting suplexed. This is where she pushed her right off, try to crossbody her, but it kind of botched. But none of that matters, though, because but anyway, this is where we got this is where Kalani Jordan to try to fight her from getting what's that hit with that Cobra clutch submission hit sleeper kind of maneuver. This is where she starts squeezing and try to squeeze the life and soul out of the women's North American champion. But Kalani somehow lift her arm up, and then that gave her a boost of confidence to get her right off of her. And this is where she started in forearms right to the face onto the sleeping wrestler. This is where she goes for a springboard flip forward right to the left side, turn into a flatliner. This is where Kalani did and send her right to the upper right corner side of the ring and on the mat. This is where she hits a 450 splash onto the the sleeping time wrestler, and this is where she followed that up with a split-legged moonsault, because the first time she tried to hit the maneuver, she wasn't able to do that, and it's not because of Wendy Chu counter of it, rather than just moving out of the way before she even attempted. So I would say it was like a guaranteed situation. It was just a guarantee that she was gonna hit it. She got the 1, 2, 3, still the NXT Women's North American Champion, Kalani Jordan, and then it's right after Kalani Jordan celebrated that she won the and retained her Women's North American Championship. This we got Wendy Chu was very disappointed. She showing her angry face. This is where she was sitting right in front of the camera. She was very ticked off. But this is where we got somebody coming right behind her. You will not believe who it was that was right behind her, and it was none other than Stephanie Vaquer. And yeah, no, I'm just kidding. It was not the former CMLL and New Japan Strong Women's Champion. Like it was what's her name? Tatum Paxley. She attacked Wendy Chu from behind, hit her with a sleeper while chuckling with her, and she then gave her a custom doll that looked exactly like Wendy Chu right up on her heavy pillow, I guess you could say, like her deadly heavy dangerous pillow. And what do you think where this is going to lead off to? Do you think this is going to turn into a potential match as soon as this coming Tuesday on NXT on the post show? Let me know in the comments. Even though Stephanie Vaquer did not made the appearance on this after this match, but there was a particular former New Japan Strong Women's Champion that did indeed made her NXT debut, her long-awaited NXT debut. And I'm sorry I did not mention that in the beginning of the video. I was trying to get it over with, so I won't bore you with me explaining what happened, like all at once before I do talk about what exactly happened at a time in order. But this is where we got a hype up video with Jada Parker and Roxanne Perez. But the biggest surprise was after the match, which I'm going to get into as soon as I talk about that match, which will be right before the main event. I promise you, assassinators, that I will. Uncle SNA got you covered, and I'm going to talk about. I guess it was a very exciting way to make their debut. Whoever this particular former Strong Women's Champion is. Let's say it was one of them that made the debut. I'm not going to name it until I talk about it. But let's Stryber did ask some questions about why did he brutally assaulted Chase U, but he didn't say nothing. He just walked out of the room. Well, that was very rude. And I guess I guess the fans have every right of booing him, but kayfabe, of course, nothing like reality perspectives, but yeah, next up we got Tony D'Angelo taking on Obafemi, and I thought this is where we could finally see somebody could stand up to the reigning defending North American champion and finally end his reign once and for all. But did that happen? I'm afraid that it didn't. And I'm gonna tell you exactly why that did not happen. Right here, with Tony D'Angelo soonly came out to the ring with his D'Angelo family, with them showing some support for his match against the reigning defending Nigerian-born champion. But even though he did not get to be victorious and win the North American Championship, he did brought in some offense at first, wasting no time, spearing them right to the ground, throwing lefts and rights right into the face, onto the Nigerian wrestler. This is where then he closed on him out of the ring. This is where then we got the Don of NXT did try to collect Obafemi, but he gets kneed right to the midsection. He gets thrown right back in the ring. He was like, "I'm gonna show you how it gets done, buddy or fella." And, right side, where we got this is where Obafemi tried to hit a running Uranagi slam, but this is where I believe he actually got low blows. He's like, my jewels, and this is where Obafemi started laughing, oops, my bad, I didn't mean it, but this is very hilarious. This is where he started chuckling, I hope you're doing okay, even though you're if there's any plans for you starting a new member of the D'Angelo family, I guess that's probably not going to be happening. And he's like, because because like yeah, like how you gonna plan on pulling that off when they're crushed and they're not gonna heal for the next couple of weeks? This is where then we got Obafemi then was filled with double joy by picking him up and then going for a suplex. This is where he slammed him back first, right into the canvas. This is where he Uh, or like what that's a need right to. I was like, not only that, because Vic Joseph also pointed out that he stomped on the foot of what's his name, Obafemi, and he couldn't do the planned spot of him getting what's that slam, Uranagi, spinning Uranagi slam by the Nigerian Beast. This is where with him stomping so hard, I think he twisted his ankle on the right foot. Is where my ankle as well, along with his jewels. This is where we got Obafemi's like I guys see some weakness. This is where Obafemi was smiling, like when he saw that he fall right down to the floor. This is where Femi did and went in a guillotine choke right on to Tony D'Angelo. But when he got his consciousness back, is where he spears him right to the upper right side corner. Like starts spearing him right to the midsection. Is where they are doing it repeatedly until Obafemi then caught him right up in the air. Like that's where he hit the spinning what's that like? What's that like? What's that? He lifts him up right in the middle of the ring. He hits him with a big exploder suplex that anybody could ever hit in NXT. This is where Obafemi's like, I've already got him right where I want him. And this is where then Obafemi then went right to the upper right side. Here's where he pointed right at him. Here's where he's like, I know it's my chance to take advantage of the moment and retain. Taking advantage to retain is where he hits a running European uppercut. This is where we got Oba then and try to go for a pin, but this is where try to go for a count. But this is where we got Tony D'Angelo that got the shoulder up. But this is where we got this is where we got Obafemi then throw what's his name the Don of NXT Tony D'Angelo right left side corner. This is where we got Obafemi go for a reverse clothesline. This is where Obafemi's like, what you gonna do now, Tony? But excuse me for a moment. Okay, assassinators. I'm back. This is where we got Obafemi hits the clothesline from behind onto the with the Tony D'Angelo, throwing him right to the left side. Hits belly first, clothesline him, and start manhandling him even more by body slamming him right into the middle of the ring. That's where he went right on top of him. He started stomping right onto his neck, start squeezing the life out of his body. This is where the referee's like, "Hey, you cannot do that!" Like it does. Like it doesn't matter. Like it does not matter. Like what's his condition on? Like don't make it worse. Like except in the upper part is where he starts saying like, if you don't let go, like I'm a DQ you. Like even though you do retain, but let's think about like if you being as a champion, if you won by the championship advantage, is where he started counting till he got the 3. This is where he's about to stomp on it. Like if he was his own version of Randy Orton, but this is where we got Tony D'Angelo moving out of the way. Obafemi's like, my leg, and this is where we got Tony D'Angelo moving out of the way. Like when he tried to go for a running splash, Tony D'Angelo goes for the surprise roll-up, which is the most devastating move in professional wrestling. This is where we got Tony D'Angelo went right back. This is where it's like, man, like this is not an easy task, like the winning a bigger achievement next to my Heritage Cup trophy. This is where we got Obafemi then hits him with this this Papa Shango like backbreaker, like which would very shockingly looks very shockingly brutal to take. Like this is where if I wasn't expecting that D'Angelo was gonna win, I would have thought this was gonna be it right there. This is where the referee counted 1, referee counted 2, but this is where Tony got the shoulder up at 2.7. This is where Obafemi's like how did he manage to kick out of that? Like it's impossible. This is where then we got Obafemi to try to go for a power bomb, but this is where Tony D'Angelo smartly then picks him right up in a body drop, to keep his chances of winning the women. I mean, not the women's. They already have the men's North American Championship match alive. This is where he started hitting some right hands to the face onto Oba. This is where after Tony D'Angelo started repeatedly throwing some hands like boom, 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 until we got a cymbal slap by Obafemi. This is where he eyes went to the bottom right side. This is where he tried to go for a splash, but Tony D'Angelo boots him right to the face. This is where we got Tony D'Angelo going to the middle ropes. This is where he goes for a big right knuckle punch, but this is where we got Obafemi to try to grab him around his neck, try to go for a choke slam, but this is where he elbows him. This is where he try to go for like a DDT or a guillotine until what's his name pulls right back Obafemi into the right. This is where he flips him right over into the right corner apron. This is where he tried to hit a big boot, but this is where Tony D'Angelo move out of the way. This is where Tony D'Angelo hit a right hand, but this is where we got Tony. This is where we got what's the name? Obafemi hits a right boot right into the midsection onto Tony D'Angelo, but Tony D'Angelo fall back with another right hand until we got Obafemi responds with a right hand of his own. This is where we got Femi then try to go for a suplex right onto the apron, but this is where Tony D'Angelo turned the tables and DDT'd him face first right onto the apron. This is where Channing Stacks Lorenzo, Luca Crucifino, and Adriano Rizzo was like, yeah, you can do this. If you could get out of that suplex, you best sure that you can win this North American Championship match. And that's what I thought he was going to do, because it looked like it was time for him to win some singles gold, like in NXT, like that is the built form, I should say. But this is where he got booted right into the face. This is where we got Obafemi then irons him to the left side, bounce right. This is where he tried to go for a clothesline, like the back shot, like he did before. But what he did not realize, you cannot strike lightning does not strike twice unless it's a double whammy card in the ring. But unfortunately for Femi, there was not one. This is where Tony D'Angelo ducks out of the way. This is where he hits a belly to belly suplex that had my mouth drop right into the floor. But like other shocking moments happen, like if I was somebody that I might know. But anyway, this is where we got. That's where we got Tony D'Angelo to hit a right hand to Obafemi, but Obafemi then went right back with a right hand. Is where we got Tony D'Angelo going playing slow wrestling tennis until we got what's his name hit a belly to belly slam Tony D'Angelo, like when he won the wrestling tennis war. This is where we got Tony D'Angelo then picks up this is where we got him going for a double underhook, and this is where he tried to turn into a suplex. This is where Obafemi then try to let go. This is where he goes for a wrist lock. This is where he grabbed him around his neck. This is where I did the choke slam / pop-up powerbomb combo. But this is where Tony D'Angelo hits him with a right knuckle punch. But this is where we got Obafemi bounce right off the left side, hit a right knuckle of his own. This is where we got Tony D'Angelo go for a right hand to Oba. But this is where Oba bounced right to the left side. But he ends up getting power slammed by this is where Obafemi ends up getting power slammed by the Don of NXT. This is where we got. That's where they try to go for a pin, but this is where it's like. It's where he only got like a 2.8 count. This is where he picks him right off the turnbuckle right in the upper left side with a boost up from the ropes, like that from Femi's hands, I should say. This is where he tried to go for electric chair slam. This is where he did so. This is where we got him try to go for a pin, but this is where Oba still kicked out at the last second of 2.999999999 double triple 9 minus 0.1 away from being 3. This is where we got but somehow Obafemi got back on his feet, and he clobbered Tony D'Angelo so bad to the point he fell on the outside. This is where then he started setting his eyes on his brothers, I guess you'd say, of the D'Angelo family, Luca Crucifino and Channing Stacks Lorenzo. This is where he started yelling at Luca first. This is where he's like, all right, why are you standing so close? Like, I need my personal spice. And this is where he shoved him right to the bottom corner side of the barricade of Barry's tombstone, of course, is where he's like, what are you gonna do about, huh? You gotta do nothing because you put your brother Tony's championship in jeopardy if you lay one finger on me. And this is where we got Channing Stacks Lorenzo did grab onto this crowbar that he stole from the D'Angelo family. He's like, you can't do that. That's property of the D'Angelo family. This is where the Oba family's like, says who? And this is where he throws him right into the barricade, then him back first, right onto the timekeeper's area, hit the boot right into the face of Luca Crucifino. Then this is where he tried to go for an elbow driver right onto the Simba, the steel steps, but this is where he missed, and he hits his elbow instead. This is where Tony D'Angelo threw Oba back in the ring. This is where it looked like it looked like Tony D'Angelo was about to win when he hit this ginormous spear that I've ever seen anybody do in professional wrestling overall. And this is why I thought this was going to be it right here by itself. When he went for the pin, I was like, uh-oh, this could be it. And this is where Oba Femi got the shoulder up. This is where Vic Joseph was shot. Like, oh, my God. Like, he did not win. And this is where I was like, wow. Like, I thought that for sure. Even though, like, I expected him to hit, like, that spinebuster maneuver that, like, he did to him a couple weeks ago, but it seemed like that wasn't the case right yet. Not, though, because this is where we got when Tony D'Angelo tried to go for a headlock, but this is where Oba Femi counter hits that back slamming suplex maneuver jig. This is where Oba Femi was like, oh, yeah, I got back in my game. This is where that's where he did hit him with his power bomb. This is where he tried to go for a power bomb, but this is where he got Tony D'Angelo countered and hit a body drop him right into the outside. But this is where when Tony D'Angelo was coming on outside, trying for a dive onto the left corner apron. This is where he gets chopped right to the chest. That made Gunther super envious, like for him doing that, which Gunther probably will give him an invitation this tomorrow on Raw, like to come down here and dare him to do it to him, which he's going to give him a free pass. I'm not putting him on the envy list, but he's going to keep an eye on him in the future if he ever does that again. But, yeah, he would prefer him to be in the ring and go fight him, considering they're both in WWE, even though in different brands. But this is where we got Oba